So this leftist woman who has been calling for defunding the police is upset because her 26-foot Uhaul that had all her stuff in it got stolen. And everyone's kind of ragging on her because of how dumb she is. And I respect it. You're calling for defunding the police. You're still calling for defunding the police. You're hoping people will help you get your truck back with all your stuff, and it's not going to happen. But I got to give her some credit. You know, her criticism is not unfounded. It's just these people are first order thinkers. They can't think beyond the first step. I recommend you have your kids learn how to play chess so they can understand if X, then Y. You know what I mean? Like, if I do this action, what is the thing that comes next? Let's break this down. It is true. Cops largely do nothing when your stuff gets stolen. But then the solution is actually better training, better resources, more funding, not less. She's like, I never called the cops. You're never getting your stuff back. Welcome to the world you've created. Let's read the story. Defund the police activist goes viral after begging for help when everything she owned was stolen in San Francisco. Oh, in San Francisco, of all places. That's surprising to me. When thieves made off with Darcy Bell's rented U-Haul truck, the San Francisco woman put out a call for help on X. If you see a 26-foot U-Haul truck with the Arizona plate AL50003, would you let me know? Because it had like everything I own on it. Well, I mean, I have no problem putting that info because I hope she does find it. Granted, at this point, everything's been sold or junked. The post went viral, but not for the reason she hoped for. Bell spent years posting left-wing defund the police views, and users across the site blasted and mocked the activist. Anti-police activists begged the police to help, jeered the X account Bay State of Mind, which comments on San Francisco Bay Area politics. Tom Wolf, an addiction recovery advocate who has nearly 30,000 followers, posted a screenshot of a previous post in which Bell blasted the San Francisco police alongside a screenshot of her recent plea. Shot chaser, the caption reads. I think we actually we have it down here. Here you go. She writes, defunding the police is good, actually. We pay them a whole lot to do less. Oh, yeah? And then her other post saying, you know, she wants up. You know, here's why it's so sweet and it's so funny. When you live in a society where you get rid of consequence and law enforcement, your stuff will get stolen. That's the reality. And so now she's continued to advocate for defunding the police, not realizing you live in a fractured culture. Leftists advocate for the breaking up of community. There's actually this thread going around too that I think is interesting, which is somewhat related. And I'll explain. It's Bethany Mandel telling her 9-year-old son. She asked him, how many kids does he want to have when he grows up? And she said, well, it's up to my wife. And she goes, no, it isn't. Don't marry somebody who is not aligned with your life goals. And there's other people who are like, that's terrible advice. You should absolutely marry the person you're in love with, regardless of what you want to do together. And I think that's nuts. There are a lot of people on the left that are advocating for bad family and bad community things. And it's not, look, you want to defund the police? Fine. If you learned how to think beyond layer number 1, maybe we can talk about how you go about defunding the police. So let's play this game, lady. Why do you want to defund the police? First question. And they say it's because we pay them. They don't do anything. They'll say police brutality, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So first we got to analyze what the problem is. And the problem is that people steal from each other and that people shoot each other. Crimes happen. Why? The first issue is no community. That's right. If everybody in the world, and I mean in a literal sense, was a devout Christian, you would need no police. None. Truth be told, if everybody was a devout Muslim or insert any other authority they were devout, you would not need any police. They're going to follow the moral tenets. They're going to follow the fundamentalist structure. They will obey the people in charge. But the truth is people don't agree on everything. So the world's not going to exist. That means you might say, you know, thou shalt not steal, and then someone steals from you. So what do? I don't know. Perhaps there's an enforcement mechanism, consequences, people get arrested, and maybe then they'll say it's not worth it. So the challenge here is that we have a society, a civilization where people are completely capable and willing to harm others for personal gain. We need to make the weight of such crimes greater than the reward for such crimes. We incentivize them not to do it. Inverse incentive, right? So in the event someone steals your stuff, you call the police. The police are well-trained, well-funded. They can easily locate the vehicle with their vast network of people on the radio saying, be on the lookout for a Uhaul, was just stolen. And then when they find it, pull the guy over. He goes, rats, you caught me. He goes to jail. He regrets it. Probably not a whole lot, but it's better than nothing. And you get your stuff back. Or you can just be like, cops are bad because I was reading a tweet that said cops were bad, so now we should have no cops. And then they voted for this stuff. This isn't just some woman who is screaming on the internet. She exemplifies this, that the left actually did defund the police. So congratulations, this is the world you've built. They say mere hours after she filed the police report, she blasted the police for not immediately locating her stolen possessions. I haven't found my ish. The cops didn't do ish. Uhaul made me file an effing police report. Oh, it's so juicy. There's cameras all over the city. They haven't done ish. I want my stuff back. Cry more. This is the world you created. So have fun, I guess. I'm just going to choose to live in places that are constitutional carry, and I'll be armed. Not that's going to protect my U-Haul from getting stolen, but considering people like you exist, I take my security much more seriously. And I would not leave all of my stuff just sitting in a car like that. I don't even, we drive around in my car. I take everything with me. To those accusing her of hypocrisy, she insisted she literally never called the cops and was reposting more calls to defund the law enforcement for good measure. She said they made you file a police report, so you did? You all urged her to alert authorities. Please be sure to contact us back to provide the police report to the Equipment Recovery Department. That's funny. As for her critics, she sneered at them. Look at these good Christian victims advocates celebrating my kids losing their belongings at Christmas. She fired at the haters in general. Nah, lady, I got to tell you, you don't get to set fires to houses. And then when we laugh and said, we warned you, you go, oh, why are you being so mean to me? Dude. Now, by all means. They live in this world where they think all Christians are going to be pious saints walking around in robes saying, despite all of your wrongdoings and destruction to the world, we must be sad. No, they're regular people. They just have a moral framework. And you are part of a religious moral framework that is at odds with them. And you advocate for things that break the communities. Now, do we have to worry about police brutality in a sound, moral community? You don't. You don't hear a lot of stories about like small town sheriffs beating the crap out of a local resident. I mean, it happens for sure. Feuds and fights happen and people get personal. The issue is in big cities with lots of crime, you have a perverse incentive for a lot of these people. There are activists that are saying no cops. And so the criminals are outright like, okay, well then I'm going to exploit this and steal. And the best thing is, if I was a criminal, who would I steal from? I got to be honest, lady, it's you. There was this study they did where they had videos of people walking down the street, and they showed these videos to people who had committed robberies. And they said, watch these videos and then tell us if you would rob the person, steal from them, yes or no, like a mugging. The funny thing is, overwhelmingly, like 90, some ridiculous high percentage, the people that the criminals chose who they'd mug had been mugged before. You see, the thing is, the criminals were identifying people they thought would be easy victims. You see someone walking, they're not paying attention, they're on their phone, and you're like, that person's going to give me everything. You see a dude wearing a holster, walking tall, and he's ripped, and they're going to be like, I ain't fighting that guy. That's nuts. Plus, I don't even know if he has money. Take a woman's purse or something, right? So let me explain it to all of these defund the police people. Criminals right now are thinking, this lady doesn't want to call the cops. She hates cops. She will be shunned if she calls the cops. Victim number one. That dude, I'm telling you, these criminals, these criminal gangs, they're going to start going on social media and looking for people who are like, no police, don't call the police ever. And they're like, free stuff. There's a viral video where there's a woman's at a bus stop. And there's like 3 homeless guys. And she's like, please, please give me my phone back. It's all I have. I'm not a rich person. Rob the rich people. And they're like, huh? They don't get it. These woke morons seem to think that, oh, the poor, helpless, homeless people, if only they had a chance, then they wouldn't be like this because they're morons. The reality is a lot of these homeless people are mentally unwell. It's unfortunate. I'm not trying to drag them. Many of them are intentionally homeless. I've dealt with this. I worked for a large network of homeless shelters. And they don't care about you or your politics. You're insane. And so she's telling them, please, please, if you can just give me back my stuff, I'm a good person. And they're looking at her like, yo, are you for real? I just want your stuff. I don't care if you're good, bad, or otherwise. I don't care about you. I don't care about what you think. So it's a cold wake-up call, lady. You know, I think it was James O'Keefe. He did this funny bit where he went to houses and he was like, we're in favor of gun control. Are you? And they're like, yes. And he's like, would you be willing to put this, can we put this sign in front of your home? And it said proud gun-free home. And they're like, no. Like, well, why not? And they're like, it's kind of advertising that we can't protect ourselves. And James is like, it sounds almost like you're saying you need guns. And they're like, well, no, but I don't want to invite it. Proud gun-free home right here. Let everybody know that they can walk right in and do whatever they want. Yeah. No, it's rules for thee, but not for me. So, lady, congratulations. When you go on the internet and say, no police, defund them all and get rid of them, never call the cops, they're going to be like, well, here's an easy list of people to rob because they ain't going to do nothing about it. Mitigate their risk. Have fun. I'll wrap it up there. We got more segments coming up later in the day. As news develops, they may have arrested a suspect in an assassination. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we'll see you all in the next segment.